A trust is a legal document that a lot of people set up for estate planning purposes. And in general, there are two types of trust that people can set up. What's called a revocable living trust, and revocable meaning you can change the terms anytime you want. And living trust, it's set up while you're alive. Or there are what's called irrevocable trusts. And irrevocable trusts, once they're set up and funded, usually are very difficult or if not impossible to change. So why would somebody set up a trust from an estate planning perspective? Usually for a few different reasons. I mean, first, when you set up a trust, any assets that are inside that trust can be managed in a specific way. Whether you got sick, whether you passed away, your wishes in regards to those assets are being managed, and you've outlined all the ways that you want that money to be managed going forward. So somebody is looking at that, reading that trust document, and using that as their guide. Any assets that are in a trust bypass the court probate process when someone dies. That's something you can't do with a basic will. And so they provide an element of ease and transition when someone passes away, and they keep the settlement of the estate very private. That's another important goal that a lot of people have. A third reason people might set up trust from an estate planning standpoint are to try and receive some type of tax benefit. And there are a lot of different types of trust and a lot of different types of tax benefits that you may get, either from income tax or from estate tax. But that's a third reason why someone might set up a trust. Now, you're watching here, does everybody need a trust? The answer to that is no. But as the amount of assets you have increases and the complexity of your situation increases, then it's much more likely that you would need a trust. As far as getting a trust, in most cases, I would recommend that you go out and seek an estate planning attorney to draft the trust. Usually when you're dealing with something that's that complicated, it's probably better to get professional guidance on it rather than trying to do it on your own. Also, make sure you don't make this final mistake, because I've met a lot of high net worth clients that go to an attorney, they get a trust document drafted, but they don't put the assets in the name of the trust. And as a result, that money that they spent and all that effort is worthless if the name of the account is not inside the trust, or if the house is not listed in the name of the trust. So make sure you don't make that mistake. Again, a trust can be really good for a lot of people, but not everyone needs one. So you really need to review your entire estate plan to see if it's appropriate for your situation.